ASP Russell, he joins me on set for our Police and News segment. And again, I want to thank you for being here. Thanks for passing through this morning. And I look forward to some details as it pertains to any headway made thus far via the state of emergency. I know lots of the national discussion was within the political realm recently, and people kind of forget that, hey, we're in a state of emergency. The place feels a bit normal because there's no curfew. So there are many who, yes, it's a state of emergency, but I know obviously work is happening with the TTPS and others on the back end. Give us the latest.
Right, so first of all, let me say pleasant good morning to the public of Trinidad and Tobago. It's a pleasure for me being here as usual. And this morning, as Mr. Jason said, we will be discussing our progress and success thus far. So what I would tell you, Mr. Jason, and to the members of the public, we have been working hard. At this time, we say all hands on deck. There are certain restrictions within the service with respect to leave and stuff like that, as the President, you and the President were having a conversation before. But thus far, allow me to just access my device so I could disseminate the correct information.
Of course.
We have had 473 operations. 503 priority offenders were targeted.
What is a priority offender? How you give me like a
priority
people known to the police?
People known to the police.
Oh, so that's your official name, priority offenders.
Yes, who would have had, based on our intelligence and our analysis and our data, would be involved in multiple different crimes or had multiple different brushes with the law. So we refer to them as priority offenders. We have had 2,495 searches conducted, 321 traffic operations, which would have saw many various fixed penalty tickets being issued, as well as firearms recovered. So the roadblocks are indeed working and is an important tool, and we continue to ask the public for the patience and the support. Total persons arrested, 360. Traffic offenses detected, 951. Firearms recovered, 23. 818 rounds of assaulted ammunition has already been seized. And when we say assaulted ammunition, we're talking 9mm, .40, 5.56, 7.62. We have had 84,693.4 grams of marijuana seized and 592.49 grams of cocaine. And what I wanted to highlight is when you look at the amount of firearms and the amount of ammunition, taken into consideration, it takes one wrong to kill or severely injure an individual. We could safely say 818 lives has been saved.
Yeah, every gun off the street, I mean, that's a win. But as it pertains to roadblocks and these road exercises, I mean, obviously, we live in a technological age. So, you know, naturally, once there's a roadblock, people who, whether it's WhatsApp group, traffic groups, they start to send out information. Is it that roadblocks still, are you seeing the impact and the effect of the roadblocks still in this modern time with technology?
Yes, we are still seeing the successes from roadblocks. Roadblocks are strategically done. And sometimes we want to lean to what we call roving roadblocks. So we may be at one spot, and when we believe that being on that location has lost its effectiveness, we proceed to another spot. You know, because when you look at what is taking place, these firearms and stuff like that, robberies, larceny motor vehicles, people are moving in vehicles.
They're moving it in vehicles?
They are moving in vehicles. Most of the crimes has a vehicle involved.
Okay. So I'm looking at some of the stats and the numbers. I mean, 2,000 so I took some notes. 503 people known to the police here would have had 34 firearms. It's 2,000, you said?
23 firearms.
23 yes. Firearms. Is it that you said 2,000 raids, as in you run up in people's house?
2,495 searches conducted, which would include individuals, house searches.
Oh, so that's everything in a collection?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You all were able to, any success with some of that?
Of course, yeah. Several firearms were seized, the drugs were seized. So what you see here, what I would have expressed to the public is a total figure So some were seized in cars, some were seized at houses, some were seized hidden in bushy areas, etc.
And all this, as I would have mentioned last week, is intelligence driven?
All is intelligence driven. I mean, there would be the times where you get the information and, as I said, it might be hot and we have to respond immediately. And for that, we want to especially thank the public for that, because they are our partners in this crime fight. Jason, you and all have a part to play in this crime fight. So we will hope that once you have information of wrongdoing and illegal activities, that you yourself will disseminate the information to us. And we have many, what I would call anonymous hotline, 555-800 tips for persons who are concerned about their safety once they disseminate that information. So we are here. And we are willing to partner. We are partnering. We are asking for your patience. We are asking for your cooperation during this time of necessity for the benefit of all.
You know, during one of the searches, I know officers would have shot a dog, and animal activists, you know, they will be up in arms for that. You know any details about that particular development? And what's the protocol really? You jump into someone's yard to do a search. Naturally, people will have dogs. A dog come rushing here, I guess. Self-defense, as it were?
But it will depend on the circumstances. For instance, they are what we would term as dangerous dogs. And if the dog comes to attack you, you may have to respond in a particular manner to save your life of that of your colleague. The thing about it is, though, is that when we are going to these houses, a lot of the times we would call out to the person. You know, we allow you to do, like if you enter your house, we allow you to secure your monies, secure your jewelry, secure your important
Fix
documents.
up yourself, I guess, put on all clothes if you're in a boxer shorts.
No, we would surround and contain the house because we don't want anybody to run away and escape or pelt or throw anything that may be illegal. But we do treat you with respect. We do treat you with dignity. And we take all these things into consideration because we understand we are at your premises. Now, you yourself have to understand also that, as you people say, if you wasn't there, your name couldn't call. So we are really targeting persons known to us.
Being in media, I had the opportunity once, senior officer in Samoa Police Station took me on a raid just to, you know, get the experience. That was some years ago. And when they ran up on the man's, a man of interest, he went down himself, to be quite honest. He was so nervous, you know, he went down himself. And I must say the officers allowed him to take a shower, you know, to just, you know, clean up himself and put on his clothes, and then he went down to the station for questioning. But I recognize in that moment that people sometimes really, bodily fluids, they get really nervous. It's a moment where your liberty, you realize it might be taken away, and you get sometimes desperate, or you could act in a kind of strange way. So I could imagine that's a very ticklish. Probably next time you could probably elaborate on well, not so much strategy, but experiences from that kind of raid scenario that you would have probably seen for yourself, or stories that you would have heard of over the years, and probably what's the best thing to do if officers run up on you. In a couple seconds that remain, what's your advice? Officers coming to do a search, what's the advice to the public?
Do not give the officers any opposition. They are there to do their job. Cooperate and listen attentively to the instructions being passed on to you by these officers. And if you have nothing to hide, you have nothing to fear, in a few minutes it would be over. You know, so, but I wanted to thank you for highlighting your experience, so you could be a witness to the fact that we do treat people with dignity, we do treat people with respect.
I'm not saying this because you're here and I try. No, that was the truth. That was the reality of what took place. The man literally went down himself, and they allowed him to take a shower. The officer stood up there by the bathroom. He put on his clothes, and he went down for questioning, and he behaved himself. He was very cool, but he got. I mean, anybody would be nervous. Officers run up on you with gun and things. It's like, oh God. You know?
Well, you know, when we talk about protect and serve with pride, we talk about professionalism, respect, integrity, dignity, and excellence. Pride. So I'm happy that you would have seen the pride being exhibited and could disseminate the information to the public and corroborate. So they don't think that we speak in a vacuum, or we tell the public one thing and do something else.
Yes, P. Russell, all the best. Be safe and keep us posted with some of the developments. And I look forward to our discussion next week.
Thank you very much for the opportunity.
Most definitely. Let's get ready for the 7 a.m. news update. Much more after 7.